Hey everyone, welcome back to another video, and today we are going to be talking about the independent stage 4s. Now this is going to be a review video. If you are interested in stuff like height, wheelbase, and weight, I have already made an overview video which I will put a link to in the description below. And as always, you can skip to the timestamps of this video, which are going to be in the description below, to skip to the parts that you are most interested in if you are only trying to look for one specific thing. Right, so let's get started. Now starting off with the turn, which I think a lot of people are most interested in, it is a really deep and surfy turn while at the same time being stable. I would say it has a deeper turn than the stage 11s, but not so much where it's super loose and it's something you really can't get used to. But regarding the turn, if you did like a tighter truck, you can tighten the Kingpin nut pretty nicely without overly compressing the bushing, if at all. So I like how you can adjust the trucks to where it's either loose or tight without damaging the bushings, and I think that's a really nice feature of these stage 4s. The bushings are tall as stated in my overview video, with the top bushing being about 12mm and the bottom bushing being about 14mm. That being said, they are very durable bushings. I haven't had my bushings blow out on me. Now one thing to note is that the bushings actually rotate, at least the bottom one does, where it rotates around the Kingpin. So the bottom bushing has the independent bar logo printed on it, and when I got mine, the bar logo was pointed this way. But now it's kind of spun around to the point where that bar logo is pointed in another direction, and it was doing this before the bushing decided to finally settle in and stop rotating. Did that affect performance at all? No, it didn't at all. I did not notice any difference in truck performance whatsoever with these bushings rotating. I don't know if any other truck brand does that, but because of that branding, it's really obvious. That being said, it is really an aesthetic thing, so if you really wanted that bar logo to face out this way, you are probably going to have to manually re-rotate it or put it back into its original position. But honestly, I wouldn't bother. The grind is smooth but controllable. I found that when I was pretty much grinding anything, I could do it really nicely and fast, smooth and long, while at the same time still having control over my grinds. And I know a lot of you guys watching this are going to want to hear it grind, so here's a little short montage of me grinding with this truck. Now for the pop feel and the weight, I would say it's a good responsive pop feel. I didn't get any ghost pop. It felt really responsive to me. Maybe not overly super snappy like a Venture, but these definitely did get the job done. Now in the previous video, we went over the weight of these trucks. The ones that I have are the 146s, so it's an 838 axle. And when we looked at the weight, it showed that it was a very heavy truck. A very similar weight to the independent 159s or 169s, which is a much bigger size. But honestly, this increased weight didn't bother me at all. granted, I am used to much heavier, wider board setups, so that may be a factor why, but I found that the heavier weight didn't affect me whatsoever. Of course, it is going to be something that you'll eventually have to get used to, but if you don't like a heavy truck and you want the lightest trucks possible, these aren't going to be the trucks for you. The durability of these trucks are very good. I have skated them for about a month now. I've had no cracks in the hangers or the base plates. My bushings are still going very nicely. The Kingpin isn't loose whatsoever or bending, and the axles are still straight. Now, regarding the hanger, I did post this on my YouTube community page. Just wanted to show off the grooves, and a couple people were concerned about it because they thought I was trying to say that the hangers don't last long. Now, for me, this is really typical normal hanger wear for me, because I'm usually skating a lot of rough curbs and ledges, and then for me, I kind of wear down hangers maybe a little bit faster than most people. Now, for an average person who's not really going to be doing all of that, this is a nice durable hanger. It's not going to wear down super fast. And if I had to guess, if I was going to keep using these trucks and skating all the rough stuff that I use, I'd probably get, maybe a few months out of these, but that is just a personal thing for me. So I don't have any issues with the hanger, base plate, anything whatsoever with the trucks. The durability is fine. The truck is holding up super well. Now for the Kingpin clearance, I would say it's decent. I know a lot of people, when these were first starting to be shown, they were very concerned about the Kingpin clearance because it didn't seem like there was much. Honestly, I never found Independent to have the best Kingpin clearance. I just found it to be acceptable or, decent. Now, when I was doing my Smith grinds in both curbs and ledges, I did not have any problems whatsoever with the Kingpin sticking onto the ledge. Anything that I found where my truck would hang up or something like that was mainly a skill issue where I didn't have my weight evenly distributed to where Smith grind could occur. But also, if you are concerned about that, you could probably modify the Kingpin, make it shorter or something, or replace it. I can't give any advice on that whatsoever. Do that at your own risk. Or you can also just really put a ton of wax on that, and put a ton of wax on the ledge, and then just, plow through it. That would also work. But yeah, Kingpin clearance for me, it's, decent. Didn't give me any problems whatsoever, and Independent never really had the best Kingpin clearance. Now these trucks are squeaky. Let me just show you. And I know most trucks have the squeak, but for some reason, these trucks specifically have a ton of squeak. And for some reason, I feel like it has a lot more squeak, way more than any other truck brand. And it got so annoying to the point where I just decided to do two things. For my first set of Stage 4s, I replaced the pivot cups with the Ace AF1 pivot cups. It removed pretty much most, if not all, of the squeak. And then eventually I got a set of the Stage 4 166s, so the 9-inch version. And then I've just been putting a drop of bone speed cream into the pivot cups. And that pretty much gets the job done. Of course, that is temporary, but it works. So that is one thing to keep in mind. These trucks are going to be extremely squeaky. And if you don't like that, you may just have to end up replacing the pivot cup or putting something in the pivot cup to make it stop squeaking. So far, I've had a pretty good experience with this truck, but let's do a couple comparisons between the Stage 11s and the Ace AF1s. I can't speak about the Ace Classics because it's been forever since I've skated them, and my most recent experience is with the Ace AF1s, which I think most people are skating nowadays. Now, starting off with the comparison, the Stage 4s versus the Stage 11s. As I said before, the Stage 4s are much heavier than the Stage 11s, though a lot of people may not actually notice this difference. I did not feel like I noticed a weight difference with the heavier Stage 4s versus the lighter Stage 11s, and a lot of my friends didn't notice this weight difference either. The Stage 4s do have a deeper turn than the Stage 11s, but it's not by a giant amount to where someone would be like, you need Stage 4s over Stage 11s in order to get the best turn. For some people, I would say the difference is marginal. And that may be a deciding factor whether or not you want a Stage 4 or Stage 11, but Stage 11's already had a good turn anyways. So if you want to talk about it mathematically, in my estimate, I would say maybe the Stage 4s have about 30 to 40% deeper turn and carve than the Stage 11s. So if you already have your truck set up, or your Stage 11 truck I should say, set up to where it's like surfy and carving, really like it, you may not be missing out too much by not getting the stage 4s. Now, the grind, it's exactly the same. I did not notice any grind difference whatsoever between the stage 4s and the stage 11s. Now, the stage 4s have less sizes, and they're the weird sizes. It's 4 sizes, 8-inch, 838, 8.625, and 9-inch, while the stage 11s have a variety of sizes. The stage 4s also have less aftermarket parts at the time of this video. The independent stage 11s have a lot of aftermarket bushings and a lot of third-party brand aftermarket bushings, while with the stage 4s, independent currently doesn't offer aftermarket bushings for them, and the only brand that I can think of at the top of my head that has the same bushing heights as the stage 4s would be Ace. Now, speaking of Ace, let's talk about this stage 4s versus the Ace AF1s. Now, the turn felt very similar in my opinion, where it hits both a carvy and surfy turn, but I would say with the taller height of the stage 4s, you can get a little bit of a deeper carve with them without getting wheel bites. With the stage 4s, it's also easier to get a tighter truck without overly compressing the bushing. When I skated the Ace AF1s, I found that if I wanted the truck to be tighter and not so carvy, I would really have to crank the Kingpin nut down to where the bushings would be overly compressed and a little bulging out. And that's really not good for the lifespan of those bushings. Now with the independents, I didn't have that problem whatsoever, and I found that feature to be really nice, where I can have a tighter truck without damaging the bushings. Now, of course, I already stated this, but the stage 4s have less sizes. They only have 4 sizes, while the Ace AF1s have a variety of sizes. And like I said before, I think the bushings should be cross-compatible because they are the same height. 12mm top bushing and a 14mm bottom bushing. They should be cross-compatible with each other. Now, I think the biggest factor here, though, is going to be the price. The stage 4 independents are about $55 for the set, and the Ace AF1s are about $64 for a set. Of course, the price can vary depending on where you get it from, but that's, I believe, the MSRP for them. And since I said the turn is going to feel very similar, you are going to be saving money if you decide to get the stage 4s or the Ace AF1s, but you are still going to get a really similar performance in terms of turn. Now, in terms of grind, I would say that the Ace AF1s have a somewhat smoother grind, at the cost of being a little bit less controllable. Some people may like that, some people may don't. Personally, it's not my preference. I find that the independents have a really nice grind to where it's smooth but a lot more controllable, but that may just be me. So what are my overall thoughts about these trucks? I've had a very good experience with them. I really like how they look, but if you were to tell me which one I would rather choose, either a stage 4 or a stage 11, I could just flip a coin and, go from there. And if the shop only has like a stage 4 or a stage 11, I could pretty much just pick one and be fine with it. I don't think the differences are significant enough for me to where I want a specific stage over another one. I could pretty much go with either or. And talking to my friends who actually got these trucks as well, they pretty much just said it like, oh, it feels like an independent, or oh, it feels like an Ace. I think it would be fun to try if your local skate shop has them, or if you wanted like a period correct board, old school board. So like you get like a 1980s board, pair it with the period correct trucks. I think it'll look pretty cool. That's exactly what I did with my Black Label board. But yeah, like I said, the differences are there for me at least, but it's not significant enough to where I would choose a specific stage over another. But yeah, overall, it's a fun truck, but it's not something that you're missing out on if you choose not to get them. So anyway, that has been another video. If you have any comments or questions or anything like that, just leave them in the comment section below. And as always, I will see you in the next one.